Welcome. I'm Chef Dan and I'm almost vegan. Today we're going to do something a little bit Spanish and it's called sofrito. Sofrito is, for all intents and purposes, a seasoning. That's all it is. And it's made from onion, pepper, and garlic. Like in Chinese, you have scallion and welcome. I'm Chef Dan and I am almost vegan. So today we're going to work with something called sofrito. Sofrito is just a seasoning. That's all it is. It's Spanish and it is basically onion, green pepper, and garlic. That's what it is. Sometimes you'll get tomato in it. That's fine, but that's what it usually is: onion, green pepper, garlic. And what we're going to do today is we're going to make a sofrito rice. And we're going to make a sofrito rice for a very special reason. But what it is basically is a seasoned rice, and sofrito is a seasoning. Just like in Chinese, you have garlic and ginger and scallion. In French, you have what's called a mirepoix, which is onion, celery, carrots. In Spanish cooking, you have sofrito, which is onion, green pepper, and garlic. And sometimes tomato. Today we're not going to use tomato, but sometimes there's tomato in it. So we're going to start right away in cooking that sofrito. Sofrito has to be cooked. Onion and garlic and green pepper raw, not so good. Cooked, terrific. This kitchen is going to fill with aroma of sofrito. And sofrito is just a great, this lesson's about a great seasoning. It's a great way to season your food. I don't care if you're making chicken wings, I don't care if you're making rice, if you're making baked beans, I don't care. Sofrito's a great seasoning to use. Just give our pan a light spray. Hit it with an onion. Hear that? Hear that cooking? That sizzle? That means that everything is right in the world. Here you go. Okay, good. Now, I don't want to give this any color. I just want it to cook. And what's happening is that if you see the steam coming off, that's the water evaporating, and the flavor of these vegetables making up the sofrito is getting intense because the water's evaporating. It smells delicious. Okay. Garlic. And I use 1 green pepper, 1 medium-sized onion. I use red onion, that's okay. 1 green pepper, 1 medium-sized, I use red onion, and 4 cloves of garlic. Now, you can have sofrito rice as your meal. Sometimes I'll put a fried egg on it. Sometimes I won't. Sometimes you might put a couple of chicken wings on top, okay? Like if you're going to have chicken wings for a portion, you might have 8 to 10 chicken wings. But if you just take like 3 chicken wings and put it on top, that's being almost vegan. That's saying, you know what, I'm going to have a little bit of chicken, but not too much. I'm going to have mostly the rice and vegetables, which is good. And I cut down on the meat, so that gives you some health benefits as well. Now you can see all that steam coming out. See, here's how it works. You have flavor, you have steam, flavor and water in the vegetables. As the water turns to steam, the water level goes down because it's evaporating. As the water level goes down, you see the relationship between water and flavor. As the water goes down, that flavor gets more intensified proportionally. And that's what you want. You want to get some of the water out and get that flavor intense. You can smell the flavor. Wonderful. All right. Now we're going to, here's the order we want to do this in. Next is the vegetables. And I got frozen vegetables. I use them occasionally. It's a great convenience to use frozen vegetables. But you have to make sure, look at the package. The ingredients on the package needs to be the vegetables, period. No salt added, no sugar added, no seasoning added, no sauce added, just the vegetables. And they come frozen and you defrost them. I put them in a container, leave them in the refrigerator for 2 days, they defrost, wonderful. But here's the trick, and here's where these frozen vegetables are going to turn into beautiful, crisp vegetables. Okay? I want you to watch this. You take a handful of frozen vegetables, give it a squeeze. Okay? And put it in a separate bowl. Just like an experiment here. Okay? Give it a squeeze. Good squeeze. Put it in a separate bowl. One more time. Give it a squeeze. And put it in a bowl. First of all, notice the color of the vegetables. Frozen vegetables have beautiful, vibrant color. They're picked at the peak of their freshness, and then blast frozen and treated very respectfully, so that they retain their color. They retain a lot of their nutrients. So it's not a bad thing to use frozen vegetables. Fresh is better, but sometimes I don't have time. This whole dish is created very quickly from a lot of leftover stuff. So I don't have time to start to create. And why do we squeeze the vegetables out? Because look at this. That's how much water is in one bag of frozen vegetables. Much, too much water. If you don't squeeze it out, all that water is going into your rice and it's going to make a soggy mess. So, and the vegetables. The other thing that's good about frozen vegetables is that they're halfway cooked already. So that you add them to the sofrito and you toss them around and they are good. They're good to go. Okay, now take a look at that. Beautiful color, beautiful color. And now we come to the rice part. And this is why I'm making this dish today, because last night I had Chinese takeout. You recognize these. Every time you get Chinese takeout, for every dish you get one of these full of rice. And a lot of times I'll get like a dish and a lo mein, or a dish and a fried rice. So I don't need this. I take care of myself with the starch. I'll get a lo mein, a vegetable lo mein. I'll get some broccoli and black bean sauce. Put the lo mein on the plate. Put the broccoli on top. And I got it. So what do I do with these? Listen, it's rice. It's not that it's expensive. It's not that I'm trying to save money, but it's so convenient to throw these in the fridge. A couple of days later, you make a rice dish with it. When it comes out of the carton, it retains the shape of the carton. That's this kind of rice. When it gets cold, it crystallizes and turns hard and sticks together. It's got a lot of starch in it. All you gotta do is break it apart. You can break it apart separately in a bowl, or you can just throw it right in the pan and break it apart right in the pan. I happen to have two of these. Great. If you want to use one, you'll have a more intense flavored and looking rice, because this rice really has very little flavor to it. It's just a little bit of the flavor of the rice. And so if you use one, you'll have more of a ratio of vegetables and flavoring to the rice. The sofrito. Okay, just break up a bit. There we go. Smells delicious. And once you start heating the rice kind of gets a little softer, gets a little nicer. That's a nice looking rice right now. Beautiful rice. Okay. Beautiful. Now the only thing I do have to add to it is salt. I'm going to add to this about a teaspoon of salt. And about maybe a quarter of a teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper. And please, if you can, if you have it, use the freshly ground black pepper. I get these in the store that's like disposable because I break all my pepper mills. So this is wonderful. And now it's nicely seasoned. Smells delicious. We're going to add one more big ingredient at the end, but right now what we're going to do is we're going to add some beans. This makes it really a complete meal because everyone's always asking me, where do you get your protein? Where do you get your protein? You don't eat meat, where do you get your protein? Well, this is one way to get it. There's other ways too. Rice has protein, broccoli has protein. Everything has protein in it. You add it up and you get your protein, but this gives you a real boost of protein. Good stuff. Don't forget your beans. Whenever you can, throw beans into your dish. Don't worry about your protein. You get your protein. And it gives a nice color. Now this really looks like a nice dish. I'll show you this color and you'll say, oh my God, you just want to jump into the pan with it. That's how good it is. Look at that. Great color. Now, if you want to, you can eat this on its own. Fantastic. If you want to, you can put a piece of fish on top, a couple pieces of shrimp, a couple of chicken wings, whatever you want. But you have this meal. Now, if you want to add meat because you want to eat a little meat, that's fine. Just add a lot less. Like if you normally would have like 6 ounces of meat for a meal, add a 3-ounce piece of meat. Now, take a steak, one steak. You have dinner with 4 people, take one steak, a couple of slices to put on top, you got it. So you have that little steak, it satisfies you, and you have this nice rice dish, very healthy, low fat, great carbs in there, beans for protein, and it's really nice. And you see that as I heat the rice, just came apart really nice. This is a great, great dish. You could add the tomato to it, that would be fine. I didn't, my choice, my rice, okay? So I didn't. That's okay. Okay, so this is done. Like I said, you could add a fried egg to this, or any kind of protein you want. Now here's how we finish this off. Put some on the plate. Very nice. I want to clean it up a little bit. Very nice, make it look beautiful. Oh, so beautiful. Oh, so nice. Oh, so nice. Okay. Good. And then we have lime. And lime really goes nicely with this. You know, the rice kind of absorbs a lot of flavor, so it kind of lacks. It kind of is screaming for some acid. The beans are also very creamy. You could use a little acid to break up that creaminess. Take your lime and roll it a little bit. Give it a little pressure and roll it. That'll break up the inside, so when you squeeze it, some juice will come out. Roll it, and you know what? I'm going to use a quarter of this lime. So, and here's a trick, because sometimes you'll squeeze this lime wedge, and the juice will squirt out the sides. Okay, just make a little cut in it. That's it. That'll help the juice come through that little cut, and it'll come right onto the rice. There you go. You can see that. Lime juice. Oh yeah. You know, it's like putting that extra little piece of love onto the rice. Beautiful. Okay, really nice. This is a really nice dish. Put some on top of don't. You can eat just like that. Wonderful. Flavor's fantastic. If you don't believe me, I'm going to try it right now. Watch my face when I eat this dish. It's so good. The flavor is so good. That lime kills it. That lime finishes it off. It's got that brightness to it. At the same time, you have the vegetable flavor, the sofrito. The sofrito is the base of everything. That's really, really flavorful. And then you add the vegetables to it because you squeeze the water out. You can really taste the vegetables, the carrot, the broccoli, the pepper in there. Wonderful. And the beans add a nice texture, a nice creaminess. Finish with the lime. Fantastic. For breakfast, put a fried egg on it. For any other meal, if you want to put a little meat on it, go ahead. If you want to leave it just like this and eat it, it's a very, very healthy meal. Okay, fantastic. I'm going to eat the rest of this for breakfast. Meanwhile, thank you for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe If you enjoyed the recipe, click like, and I will see you in the next video. I'm gonna eat more of this first though. Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, that's good.